Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority is fighting back claims of harassment alleged by members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. GUTA, in a press conference, accused the GRA of harassing its members at various ports and market centers over tax inspection. Now, let's bring in the perspective of a tax consultant to help us understand how the dynamics of all of these works. But let's first watch Assistant Commissioner of the GRA in charge of enforcement at Accra Central, Joseph Annan, charging members or the businesses to ensure all tax obligations are met to avoid any form of embarrassment.
We are doing total tax compliance because the tax is not limited to VAT. It's CIT, PAYE, PIT, excise, tax stamp. We are looking at all taxes that are applicable to a particular taxpayer that we visit. So we are not limiting our search to only VAT. That is why when we come to an area, we look around and see taxpayers who qualify to register for one tax type or the other. And I'm telling the public that that is how we are going to approach our quest to increase our collection, that is tax collection in this country. So it is not only VAT that you must comply with, but you must comply with all tax types. And we are going to go into our system when we come to you to look at all other tax types that are applicable to your business to know whether you are compliant. And those that we have already visited, we are coming back to you to know whether after our visit you are doing the right thing. And please, if we come and you are not doing the right thing, then you should know that when you come to our office, we are not going to smile with you. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Annan, GUTA is raising concerns. They said some of their members, you're harassing them. Like today, you entered the shop, you said they are not paying tax and all that. How do you respond to this?
Yes, when we come to your shop, it's not that we say you are not paying tax. The reality is that you are not paying. And if you call that harassment, then I don't know what to say. Because ours is the tax laws. And that's what we are paid to do. We are paid from the taxes that you pay. We retain part of it to pay ourselves. So will you be happy to pay us and just sit in our offices? I don't think that is the way to go. You pay us to work. And that we shall do. So it's not about harassment. It's about whether you are paying your taxes. If you are paying your taxes, definitely, then there will be nothing like harassment. We are doing our job. And if you call that as harassment, then I don't know what to say. Yes.
All right, so let's make sense out of this and go on Zoom and speak to a tax consultant, Francis Timoboy, for more. Pleasure you could join us, sir, on the marketplace. How can we ensure that the GRA do their work lawfully, so that it does not appear like harassment has been alleged by GUTA? What is the best international practice?
So I think that having proper documentation and doing the right thing is the solution. If you look at the accusation that GUTA is raising, especially on the import side, where they are accusing the Kumasi-based traders of extortion and all those things, GRA is saying that the traders are not declaring the proper goods and they are not paying the right taxes. If you look at the composition or the setup of the customs unit, they are more like paramilitary wing of the GRA. And so even Article 83 puts them as part of the national security. So their function clearly is to facilitate trade and then to protect the revenue that we get from import and export, and then also to protect the territorial security of the state. So GRA will, at all points, given the powers given to them, will try to enforce it if they notice that traders are not complying with the law.
Mr. Timoboy, I want to understand, what can GUTA do on their part to resolve this impasse?
So I think if the allegations that they are raising is true, then I think some form of engagement is needed. You know, GRA needs the business community to collect the taxes. And the business community, I mean, GUTA people also need GRA to also operate when it comes to, for example, imports. So the best middle line is to do more of an engagement. I know they have petitioned the GRA, but I believe that there are more authorities within the chain that can be petitioned so that a middle ground can be found. And I also urge the GRA to educate the business community the more, because sometimes we believe that some of them, everybody knows. Look at the current station of the VAT by the GRA officers. Some people don't know. Somebody gets his money and believes that he can just set up a business. And so more education is needed so that we need them to get the money. Otherwise, if businesses are not in Ghana, where are we going to get the tax revenue?
GRA is accusing the traders of misclassifying their goods at the ports. Again, how can such issues like this nature be resolved?
So I think that there's a solution at the port. You remember when we went for the paperless clearance system? GRA has made a procedure such that the classification of goods is categorized into 3. Every container is either red. If it is red, per the GRA's own risk assessment, if it is red, then it means that they have to do physical examination. They will open the container and check every single item. So there can be misclassification. GRA will find it at the port. 2, if your container is green, then it means that there's no risk. And they consider factors such as the credibility of the importer, the consistency of the goods, and then how homogeneous the goods are. So that at that point, it is only paper verification. So if it is paper verification and the scanner says I am green, then it means that there's no risk. If it is yellow, then there is a mixture of both. So I think that unless the rules are relaxed at the port, it will be hard for importers to say they have been misclassified. If it is red, then you have to do physical examination. However, there's the possibility that if there's any misclassification or if something is going on and the GRA is not detecting it at the port, then maybe there's some conniver at the port which needs investigation.
All right. In a minute, the practice where the GRA officers are stationed to check VAT. Can there be a more sustainable way of checking VAT since the traders say it is very inconveniencing for them?
I think the practice is more temporary because I don't know how long GRA can be in the premises and then how many places they can be, looking at the staff strength of the units. Are you going to be only in Accra, Kumasi? What about the other regions? For me, it's not sustainable. I think that when they are trying as much as possible to make sure people comply, they should find a more sustainable way of making people more compliant, possibly making the laws punitive. And then when you bring them into the net, they remain. And nowadays, taxation is more of a client-based approach than the old system of military approach. You can do that for some time, but how long are you going to be in the premises? Are you going to have another office there? That's not sustainable. And I believe that the deployment of the technology, the EVAT system, is also going to assist
the AGI then.
Able to raise it out, if they're able to roll it out across all businesses.
All right. Thank you very much, Francis Timoboy, for your time here at the marketplace. He's a tax consultant, helping us understand the issues in relation to GRA and GUTA. Now.